Every generation had their fair share of battles: the Great Depression, World Wars, the Great Recession, and this generation, we have teenagers suffering midlife crisis and people pointing fingers at internet for it. I never believed internet gave us problems, just amplified what we have through the heavens, like teenage midlife crisis. What exactly would teenage midlife crisis be? It's like picking up a kid playing with paint brushes, showing him the best paintings in the world, and then expecting him to create a magnum opus. Except the picking up, showing, and expecting part is done by the kid himself. It's an internal conflict triggered by external expectations like comparison, unrealistic expectations, which is why I said internet doesn't give us problems, just amplifies them. Things like comparison, unrealistic expectations, common even before the internet. I'm sure pre-internet grown people watching this would agree. Either they themselves or if lucky enough even their parents compared them to others. Just the difference now is if you were previously expected to paint as good as the best kid in your class, now you're expected to paint as good as the best kid in the world. This almost is the conclusion I came to while one of my ritualistic bathroom overthinking sessions, but I wasn't quite satisfied with it because whenever I used to have these moments, it hardly ever was triggered by comparison or unrealistic expectations, even though it was the way that took me there most of the times. Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? And this identity crisis is what I believe the actual problem stems from. It is a problem of identity crisis. Expected to have formed an identity, to know what they want to do for the rest of their lives. It's like expecting a newborn to start walking. It's the pressure of having to know what to do that's constantly ticking in their mind like a clock in a noisy room. And as if that wasn't enough, internet's there giving them a million different options, showing them directly the end result of their options, which makes it harder because now not only aren't they directly exposed to all the different options based on their interest and people who are really good at it, but also the best moments of their life, which is problematic because now instead of thinking along the lines of what job you could do for the rest of your life and be happy, feel fulfilled, it makes you think which of the option has more glamorous results. It's like wanting to be Iron Man for all the cool suits he has, but forgetting how much years of work he put into them. But then even if you decide on something and start working on it, you see people doing far better than you, not realizing you are comparing your day one from the day 1000. And I'm no saint to this. In fact, I'm a victim to this myself. For the past year, anything I used to write, I directly compared it with the people I looked up to, not realizing the same thing I just said. Sometimes, in the continuity of the moment, simple things like, of course, someone who has put more work in it is better at it, is hard to realize. We need to take a step back to look for something we are overlooking. Oh, wait a minute. What if you don't? What if you don't find something worth doing? This is a place where I'm sure all of us have been at some point in our life, and most of us are now. But how do people get out of here? Some accidentally find it, some experiment, try many different things, enough to know what they want to do. Some do a fair bit of soul searching, like I did. How I ended myself throughout this was figuring out what the kid inside me liked. You could do that by remembering what you'd like to do, especially as a kid, and figuring out are you okay with the downsides of the job you take. These are the only two things that gave me the idea. But interestingly, aren't the things that got me out of the phase. I have a very bad habit of overanalyzing things, which gives me analysis paralysis most of the time. Essentially, made so that despite having a rough idea on what I want to do, I couldn't act on it. On the fear of what if I'm making a mistake? What if I'm doing something I'm not supposed to? What if I'm doing something I'm not meant to do? Existence precedes essence. The act of me existing is enough, and essence isn't something that comes for me, it is something that comes from me.